I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Amelia's duel hits the front. Immature is coming right away for Damien Oliver.
Bella Nipotina, and boy, doesn't she deserve this.
The Giga Kick's got a strong kick.
Golden Mile, soar out the mile. I'm thunderstruck over the top. Mr. Brightside has won the mile.
And Militarised blows them away in the Champagne Stakes. And she's a class act, pulling right away Prowess. And Zoo Gotcha won it by 2.5.
Zaki joined by Animo, who looks Destiny in the face.
Now, it's pretty fair to say, over the journey, Flemington's been a pretty good mistress to us. I would have thought, good mate of ours,
I'd say almost, wifey material.
like best mate.
Yeah, Flemington's a she though. So
You reckon?
yeah. If you're a bloke and you're not gay, and your best mate is a girl, like I'd be asking questions.
Sure. In this, go with me.
I'm trying.
Best
I'm trying.
But best mate?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I think I have a small clip that I want to show to you that I reckon perfectly depicts how us sitting together in this room feel about Flemington at the moment. But I believe this is one that everyone can relate to with headquarters at the moment. So I want you to keep this in mind, right? I want you to replace he with Flemington and there with our.
Okay.
All right? So replace he with Flemington and there with our.
Mm-hmm.
He was their friend. And he betrayed them. He was their friend! I hope he finds me. Because when he does, I'm going to be ready. When he does, I'm going to kill him.
I gotta kill him. Flemington was our friend. And he betrayed her. He's acting in that. Oh my god. and at the end, he was our friend. Come on, Daniel.
Now
Daniel
we
Radcliffe.
weren't together yesterday, but that's how we felt over our text messages in our little group that was happening.
Yeah, I was dirty.
Flemington was our friend, mate. What happened?
I was dirty, mate.
So
Mate, the victim was heating up too. Starting to really heat up.
mate, he was starting to cook.
Let
him cook.
Let him. Sorry, no, I'm not. I don't know who the victim is. Anonymous. Anonymous. Let the victim cook. Let me cook. I wanted to cook at Flemington.
I know.
It looks like a straightforward card. Well, first and foremost, like I thought I was tipping the card.
Sure.
And ran second in the first two races.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, mate.
that dream's out the window again.
When General Bo knocks you off, General Bo drifters, never won over 1,200 metres in his entire life, and he hasn't won for about 700 or 800 days.
You take it. You take it.
Now, we can bitch and moan all we want about
We can. We really can.
but I feel like what we need to do is take some ownership, all right?
Yeah.
That's going to be the theme of this episode because there's going to be some new ownership of some corduroy caps later on as well. But, all right, so taking ownership. What have I learned from the shit show over this Flemington Carnival? Wind. You have to acknowledge and play into like the direction of the wind. So when it's a southerly, southwesterly breeze at Flemington, so that's coming from, the wide part of the screen through the running rail towards the grandstand, right? Now, it's basically, we've seen the exact same wind pattern on Derby Day and exact same wind pattern yesterday. It is virtually impossible for the circle races for anything down the outside to make any ground, a tissue aside. So that's basic. And I had a look. I was like, oh, wasn't there another windy meeting at Flemington earlier this year? The Mackay Divas Stakes Day. Remember that one? It was super windy, super blustery. It was like all they could talk about was like 50-kilometer winds, but nothing could win on speed that day. Now, I haven't gone back, haven't had enough time to actually go back and see what direction it was. I feel like it was a head breeze into the straight. But that day, like, basically you want it to be well back with cover, then you can kind of like make your move at the right time. So you just had a cut copy of bloody Prince Pride of Jenni, just doing things up on speed. And I think there's a few other things which we can delve into with the appropriate races, but wind at Flemington, that's what I've learned is like, there's two things that I think I really need to get better at with my punting. One is like the starting positions of a race, right? So obviously, like your straight races is pretty straightforward at Flemington, but it's straightforward. Also, like the circle starts is like, all right, how much room do they actually have to get a position? Because I feel like that's where your barriers make like far more important. And then wind. Wind is a massive one for me, which I don't really take into consideration, but now I definitely will.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's just so much else though. You know what I mean? Like I get that, but like you can be forgiven, mate, for not taking the wind into consideration when there's so much else to look at form wise. You know. Well,
and it's when we record on a Wednesday, right? It's awfully hard to kind of make those predictions as well. It's a double-edged sword, which was kind of said previously. So, you know, and if it's kind of, we can't really go back on what we say on here, but no. I don't think I would have anyway.
No, I said to you, I was going to tip the card. No, yeah. Some of the results of that meeting, you just put a line through them and you just say, okay, here we are, and then you just move on. All I can say is that with the rail and the true next week at Caulfield, you would like to think that it'll play pretty fair.
Well, I think of the circle races yesterday, I think there was only one race that there was two. I basically disregard the staying races because there's zero pattern there, because you have to be, unless you're incentivized, you're basically like no leaders are winning those races basically. Atishu was the only one that really came from anywhere to win, basically looped him. But even Muramasa made that change at the 400 meters.
He's good, isn't he?
Mate, tell you what, I was banging on about
Futures?
Without a fight in the Caulfield Cup. So they've run X amount like quicker than standard. Well, may as well just go into that race now. Mate, they've gone 19 lengths quicker to the 800 meters in that race. And he's ran the 29th quickest last 200 of the meeting. Muramasa. He is a serious horse. Like he is an up and coming stayer, gelded, throwed up, clean winded. And he was still doing things wrong. Buckets more after the race was like, gee, he was playing up a bit more than I was hoping. But tell you what, when
he's just better than him.
He brained him. His best part of the race was the last 100 metres.
Well, what did we say? Futures markets for the Cup on the podcast on Wednesday. Yeah. He wasn't even in there. He'll be in there now.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes we're just better. Like, I watched that result and mate, we were cooking. We were cooking.
Oh, mate, he has been a friend of mine.
He's been a great friend of yours.
Big friend of mine.
And I dived in the next start, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah. And he was $6 there. He wasn't 17 as he was first up, but
he was still $4 yesterday.
Yeah. And I kind of get it because, like, he's quite versatile. I feel like he could take up a position closer to the speed, or he could basically be last if he draws a bad gate, you know. But Buckets Moore gave him a sensational ride.
Phenomenal ride by Buckets. He just... When I was looking at the race, like I was keen on him without looking too deeply into the race. But then when I was looking deeper on Friday afternoon, I was like, I know where all these other horses are at.
Yeah.
Whereas Muramasa's doing that.
Yep.
So you're just basically saying, okay, cool. Do I think there's more under the hood with this horse? Yes, as opposed to these horses. I've had a look under the hood, and I'm like, I'm liking what he's got.
Yeah.
More than what you got. So all found by the podcast.
So he'll he'll be heading to like a Zipping Classic or something, I'd say.
Yeah, good luck.
Which Found Claire won last year.
Yeah, good luck.
Found Claire top 10 in a Melbourne Cup. I could see this horse running top 10 in a Melbourne Cup for sure.
For sure, mate. Yeah, for sure.
The deep impacts on breeding are pretty versatile, right?
So versatile. So versatile. Dry deck, key for him.
Oh, yeah. Massive keys to him.
Yeah.
But Bucket's also said, because, you know, he does a bit of work for Trent Buston and Nellie Young and those connections as well. So the Aussie Kerr and Johnny O'Neill and et al. But so basically he said, I think he said it maybe a while ago, basically when both of them were 3-year-olds. He basically
Muramasa and
Forgot You.
Forgot You. And
he said, this thing's better than Forgot You. And then they're like, don't know about that, because Forgot You was just a winning machine at that time.
Yep.
But then, you know, you see what's happened, and it's like, I'd say Forgot You's kind of mature and he's still got his nuts, you know. But I feel like Muramasa, I'd definitely prefer to be in the ownership of that horse than I Forgot You.
I think so. I think Forgot You's a bit of a Goldilocks, whereas Muramasa, like you said, a bit more versatile.
Yeah.
I'd love to own both.
Mate, we're talking ownership. We actually have an ownership update too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Clutzy's rig. Some of you probably didn't even know that we own this horse. But it was a Bloody Brilliant Beers kind of collab to an extent where, you know, those boys...
they got on our coattails.
And we bought a 2.5% share. And to be fair, Clutzy was one of the slowest horses I've ever seen.
I think the immediate red flag was when they had to put him out in order to geld him because his nuts were up inside his body.
Yep.
That's not good.
No, it's not. So, big nuts, big conditioned horse. One of the worst actions you'd ever hope to see.
Terrible action.
Showed a little bit of promise in his latest trial where I still reckon he got beaten 6 lengths into like 3rd or 4th or something. But Inglis Digital Sales been picked up by someone for $9,000, which is quite frankly unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
And unfortunately, mint condition has been retired as well. So James Healy and the crew have kind of made the decision that her legs just, you know, she's just not up to the rigors of racing, which is completely fine. She gave us a little bit of a thrill, definitely that day that we went out to the Sunshine Coast. We got the overs, and it Julie did not salute.
No, I did not salute at all on a heavy 1,000.
Yeah, so big thank you to, you know, Nathan Doyle, Jack Bruce, and James Healy and the crew for looking after both Clutzy and Mink Condition. And Mink, I think, is going back to the stud farm.
Yeah, Barina stud. Yeah.
So she'll be well loved and looked after there as well. But back to what we're talking about here. So Muramasa was a win. That's a tick.
Uh-huh.
Deny knowledge in the matriarch. Let me have a look at the position at the 400 metres here. Yeah, no, she was first in the running.
Yeah.
Place you want it to be, on the fence leading. It's like it's going to be pretty monotonous.
Yeah.
Drifters, it really is. But tell you what, that Empire Rose, it's not often you see within 7 days there's 4 subsequent winners from a race. Deny Knowledge, a tissue, Pride of Jenni again, and Foxy Frida won on Thursday as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unusual. Jamie Carr had a good day.
Mate, she rode a treble after 5 races
because she's good on a front runner. Gets them into a nice rhythm. Rates the race very well. Clips off nice clean sectionals. Yeah, no, I'd never back that horse. I was on the Kiwi thing that ran 4th, I believe, and just couldn't run them.
She ran okay. I thought
she ran okay.
The run of the race was Amakura for sure.
Yeah.
But again, she was on the fence. Came off the fence, so she probably had all favours coming from back, albeit. Big old Noah. Noah had no chance. She was tucked away, and I actually halved my bet on the day because of the pattern. I'm like, look, if I don't want to not be on in case this thing wins, but the way it's playing, the writing was kind of on the wall as well. So, but I'm going a little bit all over the place here. But earlier on the day was the always welcome. So Parasau gets knocked off by General Bow. 1,200 metres contest there. I thought she had every chance.
She did have every chance. Yeah.
Just 1,200 metres finds her out, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, when I was chatting to the victim said, I'm convinced that she's a 1,000-metre horse. And that wasn't a 1,000-metre race. So,
oh, no. Jesus Christ. He's been taken. I'm going to revive him right now.
It's game over for me.
Schwartz.
Yeah, it was a nice enough one.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, he was probably my next best of the day.
Didn't smash the clock.
No.
But, again, this horse was leading throughout the race.
Yeah. Yeah, so, look, how much do I want to take out of that race? Probably not much.
Yeah, I think they're the B and C graders.
Fair to say that, mate?
Anthony Mithun of Rosemont Stud fame gave J-Mac a bit of a clip before the race.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, because he was in the Archo Nacho race, I reckon, Schwartz.
Yeah, he was. He ran fourth there, and he should have not won, but should have gone close.
And he was like, the argument could be made that J-Mac's mind wasn't on the job after winning on Romantic Warrior. I was like, that is completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it's a bit of a clip, isn't it?
My God, you're not the one jumping on these horses, champ.
Yeah, bit of a clip.
Yeah.
Bit of a drive-by shooting. Run for cover, J-Mac.
So, Deny Knowledge knocks off Osmos, who hasn't won in about 700 days, just couldn't get the JD. I think Amakura's she's a smart mare.
She's the one you take out of that race.
Now, let's get into the Group 1 reviews. So, we were talking about speed of the Champion Sprint. Now, I'll just go right off the screen in front of me, racing.com sectionals, which you can take with a grain of salt, but we'll do it anyway. So, to this 800 metres, they ran 2.75 lengths quicker than standard, so nothing crazy. And then they've kind of gone 1.5 lengths from the 800 to 400 down on benchmark, and then 2.5 lengths for the last down in the last 400. So, it's kind of been a bit of a type of performance. But we'll watch the whole thing. Mate, I thought I was in two minds prior to the race about Imperatriz because I had it in my mind that run in Sydney where she was basically leading the entire race. And I'm like, to see the very best of this horse, she needs cover. Mate, she did it the hard way this race. I thought this was a sensational performance because from about the 600 metres,
she was exposed.
I think she realised the front page wasn't going that well. And then even earlier, I think this was a really, really strong performance.
Yeah, I said on the podcast, she's better. She's better than him. And yeah, she did it the hard way. I didn't get the race right though, because I assumed Asfura and Front Page and Star Patrol would be in front of In Secret and Imperatriz, and they'd get the cover and they'd peel out. So I was wrong about that.
To an extent, you basically Imperatriz was just about lead.
She just pinged the gates better than what I thought she would.
Lead us back.
Yeah,
you know who was a hell of a run. Buenos Noches.
But Buenos Noches, he's a bit of a cult though, isn't he?
Isn't he?
He's playing up a bit, but behind the gates.
Kind of seen that two races in a row, mate. But Imperatriz was holding him to the line there, and In Secret probably gave Buenos Noches a run into the race here. But so there's been 10 subsequent races from the Everest runners, and Espiona's still the only one to win.
Yeah, she ran fourth here.
Yep, she ran the quickest last 200 of the meeting, Espiona.
Yeah. Talking to Sneesby Racing during the week about this race, and he gave me a bit of an inside word. They were convinced she was going to run top 3.
Yep.
So she's just missed out, obviously, but she's flying, Espiona.
Yep.
Absolutely airborne. And I think, depending on what weight she gets on some of those handicap sprint races in the autumn, like she'll be so hard to beat.
She's won a Group 1, Group 2, 3 listed races. Like, she's going to have a ton of weight.
Do you know what they should have saved her for? Next week.
The Rupert Clark.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so this is the position, right? So got about 3 lengths from 1st to 5th. I think there's a few things here. Buenos Noches was pretty much primed. I think of those Everest runners, you probably see their best performance the run after the Everest to an extent. Probably rated a little bit down this year, it's fair to say, but like he was supposed to run against her in the one
The Manicato.
Yeah, on Cox Plate Day, but he got scratched on the day. So, he's safe for this. He's run it, and he's proven down the straight before where he's run excellent races. In Secret was flat, I thought. It was okay.
She was okay. My theory was the Everest form hasn't been as good this year as what it typically is. We saw Bella Nipotina knock off Think About It and Private Eye. She's run, 5th there?
Yeah, but quick backup. Like, I'm just...
You're not a fan?
Well, I don't know what to do with it because bloody half the fields were on the quick backup. We've seen in the middle distance, like those mile races, they've really stood up. But in the sprints...
you can't apply like a rule to it, yeah.
No, you can't.
I think it depends on the race they're coming out of and how quickly it's run, I guess. But my theory out of the Everest was, like, you run that race, the same Everest, 3 or 4 times over, and I think you get a different winner because Think About It's had the perfect run. And like, he's a very good horse, obviously, and I don't want to knock any of the Everest runners because they're clearly like our best sprinters, but I just think Imperatriz is just better than them.
Yeah.
So that was my theory running into this race, and Bella Nipotina knocked off the Everest runners. There was another race where someone got knocked off, but whatever, it's irrelevant. I just think good horses just get the JD.
Yep.
And I think she's just better.
Yep.
But I was wary of In Secret. Of course I was.
Yeah.
And she firmed massively in the market, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Completely get that angle.
Well, I landed up going with Imperatriz on top because of that reason. I was like, you know what? First thought, best thought. I think she's just better. I did see during the week, actually, her best runs have been more spaced out.
In Secret or Imperatriz?
Imperatriz.
Yeah.
So I think she was like 3 or 4 weeks between runs early in the prep, and she was only 2 weeks here. That could have told as well, which I didn't see anyone else talk about that. So that was a really good pickup by that person. And I think, memory serves me, when In Secret won the Coolmore, she had almost the same let off in between runs.
Golden Rose
into the Coolmore. So, yeah, from Everest to this, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't want to do this. Empire Rose, the Champions Mile. But we have to. It's what we get paid to do,
Literally.
Pings the gates here, Pride of Jenni. Now, I have a theory for this race. Alligator Blood, 6th run of the prep, albeit he won this race, 6th run of the prep last year. Brightside, 6th run of the prep, ran 3rd in this race last year. I think it might have been his 5th or 6th run of the prep. Fangirl, this is only the 2nd time she's been 5th run into a preparation. Time prior, Queen of the Turf Stakes, heavy 10, not her go, gets beaten 20 lengths. Pride of Jenni, this was her 5th run of the prep. I still, in hindsight, if I knew that, like, say, earlier in the week, that this the wind was going to be playing extremely similar, I would have bet that TC on Alligator Blood would be 2 lengths closer, and he would bring someone like, say, a Mr. Brightside into the race, and he'd still be too good. I think it's fair to say that these Cox Plate runners, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, are all flattened out that race.
Yeah, I think so. I still don't understand why they weren't given it to Pride of Jenni up front.
I reckon they're flat though. Like they're deep into a preparation. I think that's where this meeting, the Champions Day meeting, can really throw up a weird result because of that. It's like I saw Ronnie Duffersey on Twitter say it's like everyone going like how are these results happening? It's like a gutbuster like they are. It's actually really difficult for these horses to come out of it. I remember Chris Waller after Cox played. They're like, "What's next for Fangirl?" She was so unlucky. He's like, "We might go to Champions Day." I think he just knows his horses so well. He's like, I know how much that would have taken out of that horse. It's like, and now they're like, does Mr. Brightside go to Hong Kong? I feel like he shouldn't.
How far away is Hong Kong?
It'd be 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know. It's like if this horse is knocking you off,
well, he can do it next year. He's 6, Mr. Brightside.
There's always the argument though. It's like a year is a week. A week is a massive time.
It's a long time in horse racing. There's a young whippersnapper drifter out there who was chatting through a mate of mine at work, talking about Giga Kick winning the Everest next year, and he started to get on futures already. And I said, wait, there's a lot of water that needs to go under that bridge before the Everest is run and won next year. Toxic futures markets.
With all due respect to Giga Kick, he has no pedigree behind him at all. So that is a seriously toxic bet. That I need to see him not only come back and win. I need to see him put a preparation together. Because how often do you see that's like these up and comers and then they do something with like far better pedigree than him, and then they're never the same.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Do you reckon that's a fair assessment of this race though?
No, yeah. I hadn't thought about that at all. So that's a fair assessment and one that I think you can hang your hat on when Pride of Jenni wins that race and you're looking for excuses. I was on Mr. Brightside. Immediate thought after the race drifters, I wanted him to be closer in the running than that, but I get it.
Like, I actually can't remember what happened to him at the start of the race. Did he just miss it, or
he drew gate 2?
Oh, he started fine there.
He started fine, so I thought he'd be closer in the running.
Probably more so Victoria Road, just kicking up inside him, I guess. I think because Willow, they all wanted the rail here, which is like consistent with how the day was playing. I think they all found it. It's bloody Indian file right down the straight here. I could not believe how far J-Mac was on Fangirl. That field is 7, and he's often by 10 lengths.
Well, that's why I was in Mr. Brightside's camp, not hers. Yeah,
like the good track for me. I thought it was just going to be like Flemington, J-Mac, all that stuff, and she started like $2.50 favourite over Mr. Brightside as well. But and which I thought was fascinating given how the circle races were playing on the day. Like people knew you wanted to be leading on the fence, and it's like, but yeah. Shout out to the connections of Pride Jenni because I think they won 1.9 last week. God knows if they've like doubled up again. That'd be crazy stuff. Champion Stakes. It gets worse, doesn't it?
So this excuse me. So here's the thing, right? So you want to be up on pace on the rail, which is exactly where I thought my horse would get to. And this is the race where someone comes from the back and loops them. I give up, honestly. I was so confident she was going to run a big race here at Prowess. And it's, you know what it is? It's really humbling, flattening.
Yep.
Brings you back down to planet Earth when you're convinced something's going to happen, and it does not at all. I think it's around like 6th or 7th, so I was off the mark there, drifters. My apologies.
Don't apologise, mate. Everyone can make their own assessment and their own decision for a race.
Yes, true.
So you were bullish, though.
I was very bullish.
Might have even talked me into it. But there's no way I was backing a tissue. She's placed, twice prior to this in Group 1 races, both times against the mares. Her 2,000 metre form is pretty elite. It's pretty good. She won the matriarch last year. The only time she's failed to run in the trifecta prior to this was in the Doomben Cup, where she failed to finish. But she's also started $7 that day. So it's the market was with her. I said to you guys on the text yesterday, it's this was stood in the gates 18 months ago. It's an unbelievable training performance, but at the same time, there's nothing suggested to me that I wanted to back this horse. She was sensational against the pattern last week. I will say that. They kind of just bunched, didn't they? It's like the inside rail was absolutely toxic.
Bizarre race. Zaki was the only one who was in that sort of first third who held on, well enough. But yeah, I just thought Prowess would just accelerate off that, and she just didn't. Yeah. It was bizarre. I don't know what to read into the race.
Zara said she was extremely one-paced, no turn of foot today. She did have a shoe redone prior to the race.
That, yeah, which is never a good sign.
Could have been I don't know, could have been something there, but we're speculating there. It's a tissue. She's just, for me, what I've learned about her is 2,000 metres is her distance. She's good enough to win at the 1,600 in mare's grade. 2,000 metre horse, she's pretty decent, but surely she won't be winning again at weight for age, back in Sydney for a Queen Elizabeth or something, right?
She'll never have any of mine, not a single cent.
Yeah,
that's what I'll say.
Yeah, Jewess into second. She actually got whacked in her left eye.
Oh, did she
during the run? So
toxic silks.
And then young Werder running into third. He can pop his head up, can't he? West Wind blows.
Wasn't that keen on him.
280 favourite. He started out.
Yeah, I wasn't that keen on him.
We were both against him, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Said during the week that bit of a nonny. Looking at his profile, 24 starts, 3 wins.
I think you're dead right.
Jamie Spencer actually got suspended off his ride for that horse.
Did he?
Mate, it started last and then he tried to loop him and then it just... Ugh.
Mm.
Jamie. Sorry, is that 2 winners from 45 rides now?
It's less than 2.5% drifters. That stung, mate. That really stung. Oh, well, it's a great equaliser.
I have something to say. Now, all this data's come from the Sydney source as well, but we're on the same page here. The amount of pop-up races and options and money in Sydney is actually a detriment to our strongest ranks, which is our milers, some of our strongest ranks, all right? I feel like our milers are better. You've seen that when the Europeans come over here, they don't line up that well in our Golden Eagles is the easiest example, right?
The Japanese, but
oh mate, Japanese
different gravy, bro.
Different gravy. But there's too many options, and the evidence in this is the speed that they're running these grand finals in. It is ridiculous. So Rosehill started on a soft 5, right? By race 3, it was upgraded, so I'm kind of putting a line through the first 2 races there. Now, they were also run at 1,800 and 2,400 metres. So race 3 onwards, the 5 Diamonds was the longest race on the day. Race 3 onwards at Rosehill. Now, their last 600 was the second quickest of the meeting after that.
That's farcical.
It's ridiculous.
It's farcical.
It gets me so frustrated and again, I'm looking at it. It's all right, we've had plenty of opportunity for us to get this right? So the Epsom, Radina, we were both keen on him that day to some extent. He was on pace, low rating addition, but he was clearly had that tactical advantage.
Lightweight.
Golden Eagle was ridiculously run as well. And Pericles just gets run over by, the likes of Obam Burimai. But then you have this race for the 5-year-olds.
Didn't even know this race existed, to be honest.
Mate, they've run 33.8 last 600, that is flying. Only Eagle Nest, who won a benchmark 78, same benchmark 78 that IME won last year. So
interesting.
I reckon that Eagle Nest it will stand up. They've flown home 32.66. That's
pretty quick.
That is very quick. But yeah, so they've beaten home the likes of Roots over 1,400 meters and Shangri-La Express in the 2-year-olds.
Nice 2-year-old.
Very good. Over 1,100 though.
Yeah.
So they've run quicker than 1,100 and 1,400. I don't know what to do. I think I until I see otherwise, I think I might just have to back those with more tactical versatility.
Yeah.
Unspoken had the run of the race. It was sitting behind the leaders there, 3rd or 4th in run, and he's been rock hard fit.
4th, 5th up, maybe.
By territories, once further. Yeah.
He's not a bad horse, Unspoken. I didn't have a bet in the race. No way was I going to bet in that race.
Hooyah?
Yeah, I had to pick something, and Hooyah I thought would run better than what he did. But I didn't bet in the race. No, not interested at all.
I was very keen Detonator Jack. And 100 metres.
Where did he run?
Mate,
Second?
Third. 100 metres.
Shit.
100 metres past the post, he was past them. If he
So he needs a bit more of a pace.
Yeah.
We thought it was a weird prep though. And obviously, grand final there, but
yeah.
2,000 metres for him, please.
Yeah, against his own age, 1,800, I thought he would have been, he was extremely competitive. It's just he just didn't have the turn of foot to kind of overcome those who were in front, because Zoom On, who was second up, wants way further that horse. He ran into second.
He ran second. Okay.
At 20-1, So
who is that horse? I don't know.
Roots, my God.
That was jam.
Group 2, 6-horse or 7-horse field.
Jam.
Against the mares. Take her to an Empire Rose. What are you doing?
Oh.
She would have brained him. All things being equal,
Yeah. She brained him. That was jam. Yeah. Not a lot of good results, Drifters. It's been a Flemington week to forget for mine.
Forgetful Flemington.
Yeah, forgetful Flemington.
Caulfield's
great to punt on, mate. On dry track.
Moonee Valley. After not early Moonee Valley, but
Moonee Valley when the rail's true.
And it's, yeah.
I used to dislike punting at the Valley, but I think that was just because I was inexperienced.
Yeah.
Whereas with a bit more time under my belt and knowing how it plays, jam Moonee Valley, jam.
Yeah.
And Caulfield I like because you can back a back marker there with more confidence. And Flemington usually, yeah, but yeah, to your point with the wind, rock hard deck. It's been a graveyard.
Yep.
Drifters, absolute graveyard, and
tough.
And when you have results like yesterday, you sort of don't really want to talk about the next day, but we've got to.
Yep, we do. Should we get onto some stuff that's a bit more positive?
Yes.
A few reviews?
Yes.
All right. So, this is from Melbourne Sean. One-stop shop for all your Australian thoroughbred racing news, reviews and previews. Funny fellas, shocking punters, but they know a couple of good ones in the form of the Victorian Victim and the Sydney Source.
Said.
Must listen for anyone who loves the great game. Thank you, Sean.
Well said, Sean. Is it spelt Sean or is it spelt Scene?
Scene.
Well done, Scene.
Yeah, this is on Apple, by the way. This is from JTLXX1990, one of the great usernames.
What year were you born?
The Hello Sport of Horse Racing.
Hello Sport of Horse Racing. I don't know. What's Hello Sport?
You'll like this one. Connoisseurs of the corduroy game of purple polo fame. Two stallions musing all things horse racing. Knowledgeable, light-hearted, easygoing conversation of the equine variety. From celebrating Caulfield Cups to morning derby days. Big breeding buffs and Stradbroke nuffs. Get behind them drifters.
That's phenomenal.
Isn't it?
That's phenomenal. JTXL 78 1090. That's unbelievable stuff. Well done, mate.
Well done to you, bruh. And then Hamish Townsend, 22. Now
is he a big Chad Townsend guy? big Chad Townsend guy.
So he left a 5-star review on Spotify, but you can't actually leave a review, right? So you just leave a 5-star rating, but he's done the right thing and he's commented on the YouTube.
Okay, yeah.
So, boys, I left a 5-star review on Spotify, but to be extremely honest, I need that hat.
He needs it.
So maybe he's like, he just doesn't have, he can't find a hat.
Maybe he's trying to penetrate the top 5 bald guys list.
Maybe. Yeah, we have some power rankings that we might get to after this, actually.
Yeah.
Started listening to the potty at the beginning of the spring, and safe to say my punting has improved massively. Highly rate the punting knowledge plus entertainment mix, and have now added listening to the podcast for every Saturday as part of my routine.
Lovely.
5 stars, Adam Hippopotamus approved.
The hippo. Hungry hippo. Well done, mate.
Now, yesterday might have been hopefully it was a bit generous if you found a few winners, but when the Sydney Sources best bet goes down by half a length in the last, and
the victim's best bet looms and does nothing else.
Did you? Did you? Was that an Omen bet? We had tissues last week and she was running today. Don't want to think about it.
To be honest, mate, like to be honest, she came home like a freight train in that Empire Rose against the pattern, just like Zardozi. Zardozi comes out and brains them in the Oaks, and Atishu's just come out and done the exact same thing. So hindsight's a beautiful thing. I don't want to speak about it anymore.
Look, we weren't necessarily that generous yesterday in our results.
No.
But we're feeling generous today. All 3 of those will get themselves an Honor the Drift corduroy cap. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Oh, gentlemen, I assume. I'd love to know what the split is for
95-5.
Yeah.
I think the 5 might be one Jess Mitchell.
Yeah. I think she bats for both genders too, Jess Mitchell. So sometimes she claims she's a man. So yeah, that's awesome stuff, mate. So corduroy caps coming your way. Shout out to a drifter from Newey as well, Jono. He felt ashamed, so he didn't want to say good day to me yesterday, whilst out and about in Breeze Vegas, because he was with his partner's nan for the first time and didn't want to seem like a degenerate punter, which I can completely appreciate, mate. But you've got nothing to be ashamed of. The great game of horse racing is the greatest game of all. So shout out to you, Jono. Thanks for the message.
Yep.
He's not a bald king though.
No. Do we want to go through those?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So this is a bit of fun. This is if you don't like waffle, you can just tune out right now. But we had a bit of fun during the week, and where was it? Here we go. The Ball Guide Power Rankings. Now this came about. So we're talking about, who were we talking about? Richo. That's right. Richo doing his very cringy Channel 7 dance.
We love Richo.
We're big Richo guys. He's big fan of the podcast. He's one of our first guests even.
Yeah, he might have been our first guest.
When he was in COVID lockdown. So anyway, so I'll just read through the conversation. Yeah. But anyway, tough watch. We can't even defend our guy Richo for something like this. And Brad, friend of the podcast, Bradley, hope you're doing well, bruh. He's like, still one of the great bald guys, but Johnny Sins is still the GOAT. And then I put in the Bald Guy Power Rankings.
Yeah.
So at number 1, Johnny Sins.
Has to be.
Undefeated.
Never lost.
Number 2, Mick Jones, your dad.
Yeah, Mick Jones, one of the great bald guys.
Yeah.
Just like a bowling ball head on some of the broadest shoulders I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
Big bald guy vibes.
Number 3, Richo.
Great bald guy.
Yep. Leans
Phenomenal.
into it too.
Yeah, shiny.
It's very shiny.
Shiny noggin. Has a laugh. We love Richo.
Yep. Number 4, Michael Jordan.
Well, he's the GOAT. And he's bald, so.
So, and it's fair to say that basketball, or Michael Jordan at the moment at least, has a bigger presence than, say, the other GOAT, Nathan Lyon. Nathan Lyon, number 5.
Gary has to be in there. We love his off spin.
Yep. I'd say only half of his wickets have been taken when he's been bowled, though.
True. Yep. But, that's slowly changing. What I will say about Gary is the amount of turn he gets on the ball for an off spinner is unbelievable.
It is.
Lots of revs. Lots of revolutions.
Traj. Great charge.
Lovely traj.
And the way we just ended that conversation was like one of our mates is lurking in those power rankings.
I hope that as soon as he pulls the trigger,
if he gets back from Fiji and he's got nothing, imagine that.
I think I will.
If you're listening to this, Dolab, do it.
I'll be
so impressed.
I'll be coming like Johnny Sins if he comes back with a shaved noggin. Honestly, Matthew, I think you'd look phenomenal. This is my pitch to you.
Have we missed anyone?
Is he the most masculine man you've ever met?
Yeah.
Matt Dolan? Easily.
Mate, shirts just fall off him.
Take me.
So, Rupert Clark. Yeah, this carnival's still not done. Rupert Clark.
Back to a fair track, though, which is good.
And 1,000 guineas. Coolvalent versus Sky Bird.
Fascinating viewing.
Yep.
Rupert Clark, who the hell's going to be in that?
No idea, mate. Yeah, I think. Oh, Antino backers. He was 3 out of 5 lame and was coughing after the race from the 5 diamonds. So
I forgot about him.
2 afterthoughts that we wanted to take on to an extent. Antino, never run 1,800 metres, and West Wind blows as well. So at least we got something right.
Onwards and upwards.
Yes. Yeah, that Rupert Clark, no idea.
No idea. Actually, who's the favourite for that? I'm going to look right now.
I reckon it will be... Would it be someone like I would honestly be guessing like Espiona, maybe?
Jeez. Magic Time. Magic Time. The second favourite is Munimek.
He could run a race there at $7.
He could. I'm looking at this futures
Oh.
market, and it is disgusting.
Chain of Lightning. She needs it wet. I Am Me. She could run a race, but she's not one of mine. I don't know, about 1,400 metres for her. Airman was disappointing yesterday. Ayrton. Ugh. Cause for concern. Osipenko could be interesting.
Meow.
Yeah, but he's been a length and a half off like Brightside and stuff over the mile.
Yeah, when was the last time he won?
Osipenko.
Might have to get out a calculator for that.
Hey, he beat your guy Pericles over 2,000 metres.
Pericles is a great horse, though. That's a disgusting futures market.
Hit a shot, Colino, Opal Ridge.
I Am Me. Does she see out 1,400 metres? Yeah, we'll definitely have to have a close look at that come Wednesday.
And then in the 1,000 guineas, it'll be awfully short here. Yeah, Skyboy 350, Coolvalent 420.
Blaze it.
Who's going straight there actually is, where is it? Quickstar. Was scratched from Saturday, $26.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's about all she wrote, eh?
Yeah, Drifters, that's all she wrote. Onwards and upwards. That's what we do. We rebuild. Rebuild.
Corduroy Cap winners, reach out and we'll sort out delivery.
Yep, easy. Sorted. We'll get our assistant to do it.
Leo, where are you? All right, cheerio.
See ya.